This is an SM Media production.
Hi folks, welcome to the final episode of the SM Media East of Scotland football show for season 2023-2024. I'm Scott McPike. It's always a pleasure to be your host. And I thought for the end of the show, the end of the season, we would get a wee treat on. We would talk about somebody who won't be in the East of Scotland next season, but all congratulations to everyone at Broxburn Athletic. And to join me on this final episode, it is a pleasure to welcome their assistant manager, Derek McWilliams.
Yeah, thanks for the invitation, Scott. Yes, really good to be here.
It's an absolute pleasure. As I'm looking forward to obviously getting your thoughts on your campaign and achieving the massive accomplishment of being the third side for the East of Scotland to clinch promotion to the Lowland League. Before we get into all that and talk about what the kind of successes of the season has been, the East of Scotland structure now, how big a success has this been this season? Because I look at the four leagues, they've been very, very competitive. I think the whole region is just going from strength to strength.
Yeah, definitely agree with you there. I mean, you look at the divisions, it's been good competition in every league. I mean, for the third, second, first, obviously ourselves. As you say, the structure, it's been great. I mean, the team's coming up as well to the Premier next season. I mean, there's teams having successive promotions, which is great. Mm-hmm. And sure, it's really, really competitive. No, I definitely agree with you. So hopefully it keeps going from strength to strength in the next couple of seasons as well.
Regarding yourselves, obviously Broxburn, like the job you have done to get the achievement you have got, I just want to obviously get your thoughts on what the club was like when you first arrived, like in terms of you and Steve, what you kind of wanted to do, and being in the position you are now, obviously, where you're going to be in the Lowland League, you're going to be kind of making that step forward. It's just been an overall success, and it's just been kind of strength to strength, like ninth last season and then winning the league. What was the big differences you found in terms of the summer? What did you want to change last summer for finishing ninth place? Like I'm just looking just now, I think there's something like 31 point difference. Like there's a lot of positives to take there. What's the big thing that kind of jumps out to you as your kind of reasons for success that you wanted to achieve in the summer?
I mean, as you say, last season, obviously, I think we came in, the end of January, 23. So the remit at the time, I mean, Stevie, for the committee and everyone else was like, look, we really need to stay in this league, because at that time, we were hovering about the bottom 4 or 5, and I think if you look back, probably out of 5 or 6 teams, 3 were going to go down, possibly 4 at that point. So really had to say, right, let's just get this season over with, make sure we stay up, which we did. You say we finished 9th at the end of the season. So obviously a bit of a rebuild, I just thought, right, we need to change. I think the squad at the time, I say, just maybe a mentality, a wee bit more experience. I think we had a couple of younger lads. And I think obviously during the season, the recruitment's key. I mean, that goes for anyone. But some of the players we brought in, as you obviously know, lads that's played at that level, and obviously guys that had been there maybe got a boost for the better players being in. And obviously, I mean, it showed probably this season, but just the same experienced players who's been there and done it, and adding a few more. As I say, we got lucky getting, as I say, 3 lads for Pennycook who have been absolutely brilliant for us. So we got lucky in that respect, but definitely a bit of a rebuild, as I say, but just say confidence, get off to a good start, makes a massive difference.
What about obviously the kind of players you brought in as well? Obviously, when we were kind of doing our team of the season, I kind of asked about, and a lot of people were saying it was like Lewis Turner shouldn't be out of it, Mark Monroe, Bob Watt, the goalkeeper as well. Obviously, the 2 strikers we'll get on in a second, but just those kind of key signages made. I want to touch on just a couple as well. Kind of bringing in Alison Jones later on in the season, just that kind of class edge for Trinent. A couple of really good players in there as well, like Nicky Locke, obviously for Bowness. A lot of really talented players and players that know the level. I think that's quite important. I think that was quite important to you in the summer.
Yeah, definitely. As you say, it's when players have been there and done it, obviously it makes it a lot easier, especially when they can help other players around them, guys that's not maybe done it before. As I say, the guys we did brought in have been really good in the dressing room, especially Nick, obviously being the skipper. He's, we go to, we try and keep them involved in things, you know. Stevie's like that. He likes to have a senior 2 or 3 players that he'll go to. It's not just like us, we make decisions and that's it, you know. So we try to keep them on board with a lot of different things. But as you say, key players, Nick, Allison, again, we're delighted to get him, especially in sometimes I think, you know, maybe a March sort of thing where maybe the transfer deadline's creeping in. What we had as well, if you go back to the back, Stevie Anderson, who been fantastic for us, you know, a really experienced player. We thought, right, maybe he'll do his job to the end of the season, which he did for 6 months. Unfortunately, missed out the last couple of games with injury, but obviously he's finishing his career, so great that he ended up on a high.
Yeah.
But again, somebody who's played at the highest level in Scotland. I mean, won the Scottish Cup with St Johnstone, so great around the place as well. As I say, talking to people, just great experience to have.
And the two obviously strikers who've obviously been there a few years, Gary Brass, Errol Douglas, tremendous experience. I think I saw something. I think they've scored 51 goals between them this season in all competitions. Marvellous record, and as I say, that's been vital as well. Having those two guys and their experience, how crucial have those been?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I would say probably I've got more than that. I'm sure Errol's maybe on 31. Gary got a hat trick on Friday, so he's not too far behind. But I mean, again, we made that decision at the start of the season. Say, right, what shape do we go? You know, we've got 2 guys up front there who are strong. They've got all the attributes. You know, they're good in the air. They can finish. So again, teams will say, look, everybody knew, right, we're going up to Broxburn, they're going to play 2 up top. So you've got to try and fight against it, you know. And again, they've been fantastic. The goals in this year will actually missed 2 or 3 games with injury. So we could even add it to that, but he's been great. Gary as well, I mean, even with our plan B, sometimes we've maybe had to go 4-3-3 or whatever, and we've played with 1 up. So Gary's maybe had to do that, which he's capable of doing. Errol as well. So they've been great for us, yeah, absolutely. I mean, you need goals. I mean, having the confidence to say, but for me, you mentioned Darren Downey as well. I mean, Darren's been brilliant. Darren could probably play in any other team in this league and get a start, and he stayed with us all season, which is a credit to him. And I say he actually got a club award for the Club Man of the Year, which was well deserved, as I say. And he's came on, he chipped in with probably a dozen or more goals as well. So it's great to get him coming off the bench.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to kind of go through your season and talk about your kind of league start as well. Like, just looking here, you were unbeaten in your first 9, I think it was. Yeah, first 9 games before obviously they done beat at home to Dunbar. Like, that defeat, well, obviously it's a tremendous start, and you must have obviously took for that, like, we've got a chance here. It's what you've shown after that defeat that I was really impressed with. He's literally just went on a run. Obviously, there was a lot of games called off at kind of around about December time, but the ability you showed after that defeat at home, a heavy defeat against Dunbar, to go on and be unbeaten, like, for most of the season up until March. I mean, that must have showed tremendous character to after that. Was there a point in the season you thought, like, we can actually do this here, we're in a good position? Was there a point in the season that kind of that set in for you?
I think, as you say, obviously, going to the game against Dunbar, deservedly we lost that game. You know, we didn't really turn up. We had a few players missing. It isn't an excuse. I think Lewis Turner got sent off, but the Dunbar deserved that win. But again, as you say, the character to come back and go on another run. We said that to the boys. Look, again, that's that game. It's finished. Forget about it. Let's go on another run. And to go, as you say, again, up until probably March, I think. The game we got lost to Glenrothes away, which is a game we definitely didn't deserve to lose. No talk about the referee that game, but anyway, as I say, there was 8 bookings and a sending off, so that tells a story. But to go on that run again was fantastic. So some of the results, you digging in. Sometimes you've got to dig in and get a result, grind it out, maybe again, I think going back to the games, I think we've got 25 points for losing positions, which is shows you the character, absolutely. And I know it's heartbreaking for other teams. People are thinking, right, Broxburn's going to lose that game, and we've came back and showed a bit of character. And sometimes we've got to do that. Can't always play right, great one-touch football and, score fantastic goals. There's games where you have to dig in and grind it out and take a 1-0 or a 2-1. And I think at some point, I wouldn't say then, you're saying, right, are we going to do it? But definitely about then, I think we had a chance after Christmas. We're thinking, right, we can go on another run. But but again, definitely we weren't thinking it was done and dusted until it was mathematically impossible to get caught.
Obviously, Sammy's in between that a really good run in the Scottish Cup that I know a lot of people were really gutted by the way it finished, obviously, like against Bucky, and obviously what that could have meant for the club. Obviously, we know who Bucky got in the next round. But that whole kind of run in the tournament, and obviously, like, Bucky went on to win the Highland League, so it's obviously a pretty interesting kind of way it's kind of turned out. But how good was that run, and what were your kind of highlights of that, and how happy does that kind of make you kind of going forward, knowing that that's going to be a regular feature at the club?
Yeah, I say the Bucky game, obviously it's still a bit of a sore point still to this day. But at the time, I mean, obviously we had, I think we had 3 Highland League clubs. We played Nairn, Devon, Vale, and then obviously Bucky. I think the first round we played Lochee United, which we thought would be a tough game. It turned out we won quite comfortably in the end. But the Bucky game, as you say, what would it got for the club, the rewards it would have got, the gate at Parkhead. And the people are saying it would have been the same number in the draw, would have, I don't know. But you're just thinking, right, that would have been great to go there and play. But I mean, Bucky were a good side, absolutely. I mean, they've won the Highland League, and I think there were 2 or 3 players missing that day. And again, they had 10 men for maybe the best part of an hour. Took it to extra time, and to be fair, still a sore point to say the referee don't know where he got his 8 minutes for, and we thought we'd won it twice. But again, unfortunately, we went to penalties, and then it's anybody's game then, unfortunately. Errol was the only one that missed, and you put your money on it to score. But I seen it was great. I mean, we had a great crowd. It was a good day for the club. But you would like to have went into the 4th round. But then again, would you want to go to Parkhead? And obviously you're going to take a bit of doing, probably no matter what. But it would have been great for the financial rewards more than anything for the people at the club, But again, we had a good run in the South Cup as well. I mean, we played probably one of our best performances, I thought, against Talbot. We beat them 3-0 at home. Pretty comfortable again, I think, up against a really good side. So that was a good run as well. Unfortunately, we got beat with Tranent, I think, which was... we played Tranent a couple of times. We actually beat them in the East of Scotland. So, I mean, it was good learning. I know we went to Tranent the first game and we took a learned for it, and then we went down and obviously got a victory the second time, which was great. Just the way we done it, went about it was brilliant. So, and again, obviously another sore point. We got to that semi-final against Inverkeithing. Again, we probably should have won. We'd done everything but score another goal. Again, probably wasn't meant to be. We'd have loved to win another cup with the league, but unfortunately, I mean, it was Inverkeithing's cup, obviously, and unfortunately, they've ended up going down. So, yeah, some good cup ones, and hopefully, again, you want these things to give you a good springboard to happen every year, and hopefully that's the case.
Yeah, and I remember kind of when we started the show kind of around about Christmas time and kind of talking every week, we were saying, like, Broxburn just looked so consistent. They just, as you say, they were, if you were going behind, you were finding kind of ways to win. And it just seemed, and that was, I think, a lot of people's thoughts, was that you just don't see Broxburn slipping up. And when you're in that position, like, I know speaking to a lot of managers and they all say the same thing. They're like, we just don't want it. We just take one game at a time. And that is the kind of best way to go through it, because when you've got a healthy lead, you can only look one game at a time. That is, you can only do that. But there must be a realisation in the dressing room at that point when you have a healthy league. It's like, right, there's only 3 games until we can win the league. There's only, do you know what I mean? Do this, keep winning. It will come eventually. Does that kind of keep in? And how important is it for yourselves, a management team, to keep it quiet until it becomes, just as you say, one game at a time, like we can win the league in the next game? How do you kind of compartmentalise that?
Yeah, I mean, it is difficult, especially when you get into the next phase, probably after Christmas time, January. You're looking at the fixtures, and again, probably, is it good to have the games already played and the points in the bag? Probably, yeah, which we had. I mean, fortunately, our games, obviously, especially at home, they're with the 3G or 4G pitch,
Yeah.
and other teams only fortunate. So you do, I say, it's hard to keep the players, obviously, keep their feet in the ground, but you've just got to do that and say, look, there's nothing's won, because I mean, I've been in positions myself when I've played. I've lost the league in the last day of the season, and I've been relegated in the last day, stuff like that. So you say you've got to just keep the right mentality, be totally professional, which the boys have done. I say any questions that got thrown at them in games, I've answered them, especially on that run. And can't praise them highly enough.
Yeah, absolutely. And then obviously kind of wrapping the league up and kind of knowing, like, I think we can agree, and I want to get your thoughts on, obviously, like, win the league, you should go up automatically. That is just something I've spoke about, and every show we've done, there is obviously, like, were you looking towards the other leagues and looking at, right, we might be up against, like, obviously B didn't eventually get into the playoff because of their obviously situation, but were you looking at the west of Scotland and south of Scotland from time to time going, right, we might need to prepare for Auchinleck, we might need to look at Clydebank? Was that on your radar, or was it just a case of get through the East and then worry about it later?
Yeah, at one point, you say you look at the other leagues, you're thinking, right, okay, if we do it, but I wouldn't say we were really thinking about that until the last 2 or 3 games. We're thinking, right, let's have a look at that league, especially after playing Auchinleck. They're a good side. We maybe caught them on a bad day. I think they had a bit of a rebuild, and we caught them at the right time. But you wouldn't want to play them in a one-off game, probably. Especially, I think their form picked up dramatically in the back end of the season. And again, I totally agree. I mean, if you get promoted, surely automatically you go up to the next league. Because I mean, I was saying to the guys, imagine you lose the playoff, you go back to your own league. How does that affect your confidence? Going into it, you have to, as you say, go again. And I mean, East Kilbride's going to have to do that, coming back to the lower league again. So, I mean, it'd be difficult. I'm not in that position. Fortunately enough, we've got promoted. But I think, again, we could have another whole programme about that, restructuring the leagues. But I totally agree with you. I mean, if you win your league, you deserve to go up to the next level. Whether that happens in the next few seasons or not, I mean, that's we can only wait and see on that.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, you get into playoff, and it's still Beatty Star, and obviously they've won the South. They're looking to get back into the Lowland League. A lot of people had just favourites. Like I'm speaking to a lot of people for different leagues. They said Broxburn should win comfortably. It's a different ball game when it's a two-legged affair. We've seen how it works in the past, but first leg, obviously, in the Saturday, 1-4-1, healthy lead, and then last Friday, you're just going absolutely smash it. And 12-2 in aggregate, promotion. To see you win it like that, how did that feel? Like, to do it in style the way you did, how does that feel?
On paper, obviously, we were favourites. I mean, everybody says, all right, Broxburn, you're going to take care of them, no problem. But going down in the first leg, away from home, yeah, you would want that. So going down there, it was a really, really warm day. So we had to say, right, lads, but don't rethink it. But I mean, the guys were totally professional. We went down there. We got early goals, which helped. Yeah, they got one back, to be fair, probably the best goal of the game. The guy scored an absolutely worldie. Then we got the goals in the second half. I say we were pretty comfortable, made a few changes, obviously, to manage the game out. And then looking at the second leg, an ideal world, obviously, we're looking at it going, right, get a good crowd on the Friday night, get a good night for the fans, put on a good performance, round off the season. Everybody will have their families there, their friends, as saying, a good crowd for the committee, everybody that's been involved with the club for all the years, I mean, I've seen guys there. I mean, I played with the club back, God, I don't know what to say, 40 years ago. and there's guys there that were on the committee. I've seen them, delighted for them. So it was great that we got. I mean, again, we give away the first goal, and then but we had chances, I know, in the first 5 or 10 minutes ourselves. So yeah, ended up pretty comfortable. Unfortunately, they got a man sent off, and then they had someone injured, went down to 9 men, which put a bit of damper on it. But it was great for that. It was a great night for the club. So hopefully onwards and upwards to next season.
Yeah, and seeing the way Trinent have went up and done really well. Like Linlithgow, I think, were very solid in their first season. I think they'll only improve. That must give you confidence that you can go up and compete. Like it's difficult, obviously. It is a big jump, but the ways they've done it this season, how consistent you've been, I'd imagine a lot of the players will be keen to have another go and stay at the club. And I see you're obviously committing players already, and I know you'll be looking at others. You must be fancying your chances to have a really good attempt at the Lowland League next season.
Yeah, looking at the league, there's some good teams in there. But I mean, when we go, we've spoke about it already. Why would you not be ambitious? You're not going to go there and say, right, let's try and finish second bottom or third bottom. So yeah, I'm pretty confident, as we've already said. There's guys in our squad that's played at that level, and at a higher level, there's guys that's won that league. So I'm sure I've got the experience. Just say add a couple of players. Obviously, looking at the loan market as well. I mean, we've spoke about the areas we need to strengthen.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would be confident. I mean, Linlithgow and Trinent. Linlithgow's did well in their first season at it. And Trinent, I mean, your Bonnyriggs, East of Scotland teams have done really well, you say, going up the leagues. Then hopefully we can do that. As I say, we're pretty confident we can, as I say, if we add to the squad. And you get off to a good start, which helps. I say that was fantastic this season, the start we got off to, and it does build confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to kind of get your thoughts on the kind of overall season as a whole, like in the other kind of leagues. Like just a wee thought as well. Congratulations to Here at Watt winning the King Cup, beating St Andrews 4-1. I rave a lot about the job Banji's done at Here at Watt, and it's just another example, another trophy. He's done a marvellous job there.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know him too well. A few of the guys know him. He's been there for a bit, and he does really well. I mean, that was a good result at the weekend. And I say, looking at the other leagues as well, I mean, as you say, the leagues have been pretty strong this season. And hopefully that can continue. As I say, coming into our league next season, you've got Dunny Pace, St Andrews and Whitburn. And Whitburn, I want to say, we've got a bit of, Darren and the guys at Whitburn have done a great job there as well, getting a couple of promotions in a row. So hopefully they can do well next season.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've got a cup final, obviously, final game of the East of Scotland season. Sauchie versus Haddington. It's going to be quite an even, a kind of level cup final, that too. Kind of decent sides. Out the two these have come up against, like, who have you been impressed with?
I know the guys at Sauchie and the guys at Haddington, I mean, they've had a pretty decent seasons ourselves. I mean, I can see that being a pretty even game. We played Sauchie probably the first game down there. To be fair, we got out of that game with a draw, which we probably shouldn't have. We ended up, we could have won it. We missed a penalty in the last kick of the ball, but they were superior to us for the first hour at least of that game. Haddington as well, they've given us what? We only beat them 1-0, and then we drew the second game, I think, one of our draws, 0-0. Yeah, I would say that would be pretty decent. Been impressed with both of them, play decent football. So it'll be pretty tight. Maybe possibly go along myself, hopefully, and get a watch of that game.
Yeah, absolutely. It will be very interesting. In the second division, obviously, we had Edinburgh South beat Armadale in the final day. They obviously secured the third promotion shot over Armadale. A special part of the episode, we're going to just pass it on to an interview I did earlier this week with Edinburgh South manager Ainslie Hunter. We are delighted to be joined by the manager of Edinburgh South, Ainslie Hunter. Ainslie, welcome to the show, mate. First of all, congratulations for promotion and thank you very much for coming on.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks for having me on.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure. See, obviously, this time of the season where there's been so many games this season. And so many games to catch up on. How hard was it to get the side motivated to go and do the job and try and gain promotion?
It wasn't hard at all, to be honest. It wasn't hard to get them motivated. They were well up for it. be fair to them, for the start of the season, they've been up for it. We just never started the season very well. But in terms of like the last 12 games we had, that was five. We had to cram it into 5 weeks. So we're twice a week, sometimes 3 weeks, 3 games a week. So it was tough for them mentally, tough for them physically. But when you're on that winning run, when you've got something to go for and you're chasing, then it was quite easy in terms of what we wanted to achieve, and the boys' mindset and stuff like that. They were, credit to them, they were brilliant.
In that position, would you rather have the games in hand, or would you rather be setting the target? Like, I know a lot of managers have different views on that, but like, you went on such a good run, and like at the right time as well. I think I looked at the stats. I mean, I'm looking here. You've played one game between the 25th of November and the 27th of January in the league. I mean, that kind of tells you the whole story of the season, doesn't it?
And the hardest thing was, like, we're training at World of Football. We're playing 5-a-side in it because all the pitches, we couldn't get pitches. But the numbers, we still had numbers. We were minimum 18 at training, and that's just outfield players. We had 3 goalies at training and stuff every week, twice a week. So the boys were first class. They turned up and they kept themselves ticking over. But it's hard, you know yourself. Turning up, you knew 5 mile there'd be no game on a Saturday, but the boys are still coming to training. So I said that to them a couple of weeks before the end of the season. That was a groundwork for now. You know what I mean? For the running. They didn't realise it at the time, but that was all the hard work and the commitment and the professionalism that they'd done at the right time. Because it was easy for them to know to come to training, no 5 mile, there's no game, go into a Saturday, take the day off, whatever. But they had the determination to get promoted. And it's a credit to the boys, I would say.
And how hard was the league in terms of the competitiveness? Like, you saw the run Thornton went on. Bo'ness had been very, very good. Armadale had set a high standard at the start. Like, there's a lot of good sides in this league. How hard was it to kind of get on that run and come up? There's some really good sides just come up against, to be fair, who weren't challenging for promotion.
You get an easy game in that league. You do not get an easy game. Like, the teams like Edinburgh College and that, really well drilled, playing on Astro, great passing the ball about, good team, hard to play. Peebles, I thought Peebles were a right good team. Never got an easy game against Peebles. Teams like that, like Easthouse is difficult. Dalkeith, good players, played the leagues for a while, some young players and stuff. But there's no easy games. Even Tweedmouth, we beat Tweedmouth by the odd goal a couple of times. Newborough by the odd goal. We just didn't, to be fair, we like to make it hard for ourselves at times. But nah, there was not an easy game, I didn't think, in that league. Edinburgh United give us 2 hard games. So I think it just goes to show that it's really hard getting out that league. But so it just shows how good that Bo'ness and Thornton, and to be fair to Armadale as well, they were quality teams.
And in terms of next season as well, obviously, getting into the first division, there's a lot of good sides in there as well that I think are only going to get better. There's a few sides coming down for the Premier. I think the first division next season is the makings of an excellent league, and you're going to be in amongst it. How are you feeling?
Hopefully it'll be a right tough league. Like said, Camelin, Nitton, or the Preston, you know what I mean? They're a good team, good coaches. Arniston, Fulder's done a good job at Arniston. I mean, you could go on. All the teams coming down, and then the 2 other teams, Thornton and Bo'ness, going up. Bo'ness will be going up in that league just to make up the numbers, you know what I mean? They'll be looking to push up and get promoted again with the backing and that and the good players they've got. So that'll be a right tough league, but we'll just take one game at a time, mate. And, get the mentality, get the training, work hard in pre-season. We're not there to make up the numbers either. I'm not saying we're going up there to try and win the league, but we'll take one game at a time and we'll be ready. Like, we'll not be there to be pushovers, you know what I mean?
And how do you feel, obviously, in terms of your core of players? It's an excellent group you've built in there, and obviously, like, there's a few that obviously deserve a lot of recognition. Like, in terms of keeping that core of players and adding to it, how important is that going to be?
Oh, massive. We've got probably 80% of the squad tied up again. A couple moving on. Just chose not to play next year, which will be a massive loss for us, but that's football, eh? And then a couple of other guys maybe have not been playing as much, maybe want to move on themselves as well. So, but we've kept the core, the core, some good experience, some right top quality players there that they should be playing in this league last year anyway. We've done the club a favour by playing with them, and they've got us promoted, and now they're in a league where they should be playing all along, you know what I mean? So they'll be looking to prove that they deserve to play in that league. So I kept the core. We need to add a couple of quality additions we need to try and get in, but you're all fighting for the same players, eh? your Leeds, your Whitehills, all the teams. You know what I mean? They're all going for the same sort of players that we'll be going for. So it comes down to who's got the best facilities and who's got more ambition and stuff like that. And it says a wee bit about the players, what teams they got as well. So it'll not be easy for us, but we're trying after the squad.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we wish you all the best for the summer, Ainslie, and thank you very much for coming on. As I say, many congratulations on your job this season. You've done very well.
Thanks very much for that, mate. All the best. Cheers for having me on.
Thank you. So, massive thanks to Ainslie for giving us that interview there. And I just want to get your thoughts on Edinburgh South. Obviously, they had a lot of games to make up and tremendous achievement to get into the first division.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable run they had. I mean, the back end of the season, don't know how many games they actually won in the spin, but we've got the boys at Armadale, we've got a good relationship with them as well. Obviously, very slowly and club, not saying we stick together, but we had one of our players on loan to the Armadale. I think Colin played under Stevie and they played together at Linlithgow, or Bo'ness anyway. They've got a good relationship. I mean, it was tough for them, you know, to be in that position for so long and then getting picked in the last game. I mean, I think it went to the last game. But I mean, it ended up quite tight, the league as well, not by 1 point. I mean, Thornton Hoods had an unbelievable finish as well. And being Bo'ness, obviously, they're going through the leagues as well. We played them in one of the cup ties. Unfortunately, in fact, we were down 3-1. I think it was just after. I think it was after the Bucky game actually, because the boys were a bit down. We said, look, we've got a game Tuesday, we need to be up for it. And we came back and won 4-3, but I'm sure, I mean, they'll be probably up with the favourites to win the first division, I would say, again this season. But I mean, they've got some good players there, some really good players. But as I say, it went right down to the wire again. So, yeah, very, very good league at the end up.
Yeah, absolutely. And just a wee word as well, third division, Hart Hill Royal secured the final promotion spot as well. And where they were last season to now, marvellous achievement for them to get promotion. And Stonyburn gave it a right good go as well to try and kind of pick them as well.
Yeah, I mean, Hart Hill, for last season, as you say, unbelievable to get promoted. In West Calder and Bathgate were kind of fighting it out for a while. I think we played Bathgate in a cup tie as well. We played them a friendly. Well, Gordon's done a good job there. The guys at West Calder, the three of their teams have done really well. I say obviously kind of on my local area. I mean, I'm a Pumferson man, so Pumferson have had kind of missed out as well. So hopefully they can build on that next season as well. But yeah, good performances for those three teams as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, before we wrap up, just a brilliant season for the East of Scotland, and you sit at the head of it, and you obviously champions moving up. And again, congratulations for what you've achieved this season, and I can only wish you all the best for next season. Yeah,
as I say, it's been a great season all round. I mean, especially for all the committee, all the volunteers. I mean, the community side of it as well. Hopefully, the kids that have come to all the training sessions, you know, one can say, right, look what Broxburn's done. It gives them a wee lift going into next season. Yeah, the coaching staff as well. And same with Gary Maley for Livingston, helping us out with the keepers as well. I mean, we've got a good relationship up there. Hopefully, maybe steal a couple of loan players next season. But yeah, it's been great, especially you say where we came from when we took the job over a year and a half, maybe not even that. So yeah, it's been fantastic. So all credit to the players. For day one, for pre-season, they've came in, as I say, they've worked so hard and they deserve what they got. Yeah, absolutely. Well, I can only thank you for joining me in the final episode, Derek. I thoroughly appreciate it. No problem. Thanks for inviting. As I say, keep up the good work, promoting the lower leagues. So it's really, really good to get a bit of coverage. Brilliant. Thank you very much, Derek. Appreciate that. And thank you very much to everyone that's tuned in. And we will be back next season. We'll be having a wee summer break. For more Scottish football content, you can obviously follow us on social media. We've got a lot of Euro stuff coming up. We'll be keeping fairly busy over the summer period. But we'll all be back next season for the new East of Scotland show. Thank you very much, folks, and enjoy your summer.